We get a massive amount of interest. I mean, Greg can attest to the number of emails that we get. That
How
is
many is it?
Well, uh, depend. I mean, so right, I went to the beach with my wife and my two kids the last 3 days, and I came back to over about 150 emails just from those couple days.
Wow.
That is maybe slightly elevated because there was a showcase the weekend before, but that's pretty standard. So if I haven't replied to your email and you're watching this right now, I'm getting back to you. I promise, but it does take me a while because I do try to obviously read everyone and respond in informational way at the least. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing, honestly. I mean, I think as coaches, we want interest. We want, students to be interested in our school and our product. And I think that, due to a lot of the success that we had this year, and obviously in past years, there's a lot of interest from an athletic standpoint. And then the academic piece, as Dan said, it's just truly world class. So we do get a lot of interest, and that's exciting for us. But it does take some time to kind of figure out what the best avenue is for communication. But then also when we can see them and give them some transparent feedback, it does take some time, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd add too, we we're looking for, like you mentioned, like bigger rosters and so on. We're working on getting our roster a little bit smaller, and so I think the 28 to 32 range is kind of a target. I think we maybe do that, maybe not next year, but in the coming years. And with that, our classes are generally between about 6 and 8, maybe 9. So that gets us to those numbers. And sometimes, we have to say no to some really great people and great players, not because they can't or couldn't play for us, but because that spot is taken already. And we're not in a position, or we don't want to be in a position where we are bringing in so many people that it's not helpful for the current team. And so I think that can be really confusing for recruits. I think the line of, are they telling me that I'm not good enough? Or are they telling me like there's just no spot? And so we try to be as clear as we can about that. And sometimes there are recruits we have that might be playing at a little higher level than others, and we're really transparent about that. But sometimes it just comes down to some of those spots are a bit more open than some other spots. Maybe, I mean, generally we try to get two per line, so two backs, two mids, two forwards, and a goalie. But sometimes there might be an extra one or two in there, and maybe it's not going to be another defender that year. So it doesn't mean that that third defender that we're saying no to couldn't play for us. It's just that we don't have a spot there. And I think that is common in certain places. Every program recruits slightly differently. There's certainly similarities across, but getting to know what each of those coaching staffs want and how they operate is part of that recruiting process and part of those conversations you might have with them. But as it relates to us, we want to be as fair and transparent each time so that we know, so that they know, okay, here's what I can expect from this experience as best that we can describe it as coaches. And then also here's what we can expect from you. Like, you're showing what kind of person you are. This is what we expect you to be, and then grow from there too. So I think the reciprocal interest is really important, and the reciprocal energy back and forth is also really important.